Today I'm going to be talking about laziness and productivity. Hello, welcome back, or hello if you're new. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday. Now that it is the end of the year, I really wanted to make this because I feel like a lot of us lack motivation, myself included, when it comes to the end of a year. And I really wanted to make this to get you guys motivated going into this new year and to start fresh and to really just set yourself up for success. One thing I have to say, it is completely okay to have a lazy day. Sometimes it is very much needed to just do nothing. And I also want to really press the importance of that because I don't want people to feel guilty when they do have an off day or they just need it. Because I know I used to feel very guilty when I would be taking time and having a lazy day, even though I knew I needed it, but I just always felt like I had to be doing something. And I feel like it's important to have that healthy balance because doing too much can also lead to being overwhelmed and burnout. So you do want to have a good balance in your life. But if you find yourself having more lazy days than not, or if you find yourself having trouble to just get things done, this could be due to something else going on. And that could be that you lost a passion for the job that you're at. You have a very overwhelming to-do list. You may even have an underlying medical condition. And this can all just be things that can interfere with your desire to get things done. I will be sharing my top tips in order to be more productive and to not be as lazy or maybe get out of that funk or that rut that you may be in. Number one is to make your goals manageable. So many of us set unrealistic goals that are very hard to attain or are even unattainable, and it makes you very unmotivated and not have any desire to do it because it seems like way too far and hard to attain. Setting unrealistic goals and taking on too much can lead to burnout. Job burnout can lead to exhaustion, it can lead to loss of interest and motivation, and it can lead to this feeling of longing to escape. So you really want to make sure that you are setting attainable goals and realistic goals as well. Something that really helps me is just setting small goals that are still going to get you where you want, but it is just not as overwhelming, and this really helps as opposed to setting really huge goals that could take years and years and years. This is going to make it feel not as overwhelming along the way. Number two is don't expect yourself to be perfect. I really struggled with this for many years, that I was a perfectionist. And perfectionism has been on the rise and can take a really big psychological toll. In today's age and generation, I find so many young people are facing a much more competitive environment. There's a lot more unrealistic expectations put on young people, and you may even have more controlling parents when compared to generations. Perfectionism can lead to being overly critical about yourself and others, and it can also just lead to anxiety and depression. So it's important to obviously strive for greatness and your best, but there's a fine line between that. There is no such thing as perfection, and I used to struggle with this, like I said, a lot, where I was really hard on myself and I used to call myself a perfectionist. And although sometimes it would be seen as, you would think it's kind of like a positive thing because you work really hard, I find that it also is something that can be a downfall because I found myself feeling like I was never good enough, like no matter what I achieved, there's always gonna be something better or I could have done it better. So it's really important to change your mindset and just be a lot easier on yourself, and to know, like I said, that there is no such thing as perfection and everyone is imperfect, and it is okay, and that is completely something that you need to keep into consideration. So of course, like I said, strive for your best, but there's no such thing as perfect. Number three is to use positive instead of negative self-talk. I just did a video around confidence and things that help me to become a more confident person, so I will link that above, but I did actually briefly touch on negative self-talk and changing that to a more positive self-talk. Negative self-talk can derail your efforts to getting things done in every aspect of your life. Of course, you want to try and change that by practicing positive self-talk. Instead of saying things like there's no way you can get this done or make this happen, try by saying I will put my everything into this and give it my all and make it happen. You will really be surprised when you just change the way you talk to yourself in general. Also in your mind, I feel like a lot of us say things when we're kind of giving ourselves little talks when we're doing something or looking at something. So it's important that even when you're talking about yourself, don't be critical of yourself and try by changing it. And although it may not feel natural now, if you are someone that can be a little bit negative when it comes to your self-talk, just say these sentences and words to yourself and you will really start believing it, and it's going to become like second nature to you, and you will learn to change that self-talk. Number 4 is to create an action plan. So planning how you will get something done will make things feel a lot more easier. So when you are making your plan of action, of course you want to be realistic when it comes to your time, your effort, and whatever is needed in order to achieve that goal. By having an action plan, it will provide direction and also help with confidence. Number 5 is to use your strengths. Focusing on your strengths can increase productivity. It can also increase your engagement on the work and also positive feelings. So think about your strengths when you are setting your goals or when you're about to tackle a task. This leads me to number 6, which is to recognize your accomplishments along the way. Don't be shy to pat yourself on the back when you accomplish little things or you accomplish something. By writing down accomplishments, it will help to boost your confidence, your positivity, and fuel you to keep on going and to be excited to do something. Number 7 is ask for help. So many of us feel like when we ask for help, that is a sign of weakness or we don't want to bother people. But it is really crucial to sometimes go ahead and ask for that help. By not asking for help, sometimes it could lead you to setting yourself up for failure. So asking for help can really improve your chances sometimes for success, and it can also help connect you with people that will help to encourage and motivate you as well. I really like to be around people that are kind of like-minded and also kind of have similar goals, because I find when I'm around people that are ambitious and just really are excited, it really puts me in a positive mindset, and it really gets me motivated to work hard and achieve as much as I can and to just be the best version of myself. Number 8 is to avoid distraction. This one is a big one, and I know it's a big one for myself. Let me know if it is for you, but we all have our favorite distractions that we like to turn to when we don't feel like doing a task or don't feel like doing something. And that could be scrolling on social media, playing video games, watching your favorite television series, petting your pet and playing with your pet. There are just so many things that we always do when we're not wanting to do a task. And this happened a lot to me, especially when it came to being in university and doing schoolwork, of course. There are just so many things that I just turn to, and then I end up procrastinating. So something that really helps me is finding ways to make distractions less. So that could be just going in, finding a quiet place to do your work. That is even going to the library or going to a coffee shop or whatever the case may be. Or something that really helps with me is also finding apps that will block certain sites that I can't use either for a period of time, especially for when I'm supposed to be working, because I definitely struggle with just mindlessly scrolling on my phone when I'm just procrastinating or pushing off a task because I just don't want to do it. And that leads me to number 9, which is to make tedious tasks more fun. So of course, if something seems very boring to you, you're not going to be motivated to do it, and you're just going to keep pushing it off and pushing it off, and you're just going to feel overwhelmed with having a bigger and bigger to-do list because you keep pushing all your tasks off. Even if it's something like a chore, like cleaning, a lot of us may find this tedious. Some people really enjoy that, but for those that find it tedious, try doing things that are going to make it more exciting. Like every single time you clean, maybe put on a podcast or listen to music, or even put on your fitness tracker and see how many steps or calories you can burn during that certain task. I find that really just helps me motivate me and push me to want to do it. So it's obviously going to look different for everyone, but finding ways to push yourself to do those tasks that may be quote unquote tedious. And that leads me to my last tip, which is number 10, which is to reward yourself. So it is okay to also reward yourself when you complete a certain task. Of course, when you complete a task, that can be a reward on its own by accomplishing something, but some of us also really like to get an external reward, and that's going to look different for everyone. So celebrate in a way that's going to fit you best and something that you're going to enjoy. And also when you do accomplish something and you do finish a task, really celebrate yourself. I feel like a lot of the times as people, whether we finish something big or small, we don't really celebrate ourselves, and we kind of feel like, okay, what's next? Like, I still have to do this, or like, I still haven't accomplished this. So it's important to celebrate yourself during those little tasks that you accomplish, even if it is really small or it's really big. So those are all my tips on how to avoid being lazy or how to get out of a rut and just be more productive. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me in the new year of 2023. Let me know what your biggest goals are for this new year or your New Year's resolutions, because maybe I'll do some videos around that. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. I do post every single Tuesday and Thursday. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.